should we do? Moments ago, Senator McCain went on the record. What's going on vis-a-vis North Korea? Sir, you have been quoted as saying is that even without permission from the North Koreans or from any port where the North Korean ship may go to get fuel, you think that we should board that North Korean vessel. Is that how you feel, sir?
Well, first of all, could I say the UN Security Council resolution does not allow boarding. In fact, there is a Korean ship headed from Myanmar right now that may go into port there. I'm sure it won't be inspected by those authorities, may even refuel and go on to Iran or someplace else. There's clear record of Iranian, North Korean involvement in ballistic missile and nuclear weapons and the technology associated with it. That is a clear security threat to the United States of America. The North Koreans just announced that the truce, in other words, the truce as a result of the Korean War, is now over. That means technically we're at war with the North Koreans without a truce. And that may be a technical issue, but it's obvious North Korean behavior and Iranian behavior poses a threat to the national security of the United States.
Does that mean, sir, that you would board that vessel, which incidentally is named, I guess, for your grandfather and your father, USS John McCain? Would you, if that vessel that's out there chasing the North Korean vessel, would you board the North Korean vessel at this point?
If I had hard evidence, which the president may or may not have, but he would know, and I don't, if I had hard evidence that there was missile or nuclear weapon technology or other technology that posed a threat to the security of the United States of America by this, transported by this rogue regime to another rogue regime, I would certainly take whatever action is necessary. By the way, when the British declared against slavery, they boarded ships all the time.
How would you define hard evidence? Because we've gone through these sort of issues with our CIA, for instance, about whether weapons of mass destruction in Iraq in the last, 8 years ago. But how do you define hard evidence? Because boarding that ship could be profoundly important or profoundly, bad judgment. At this point.
Well, you may recall the Spanish boarded a North Korean ship that was loaded with missiles that was bound for Yemen. I think it's very clear that we would have that information or not, and we have ways of gathering that information. So I don't have that information, but any country that poses a threat, particularly the North Koreans, to our national security, we have to take the necessary steps.
Are we currently too soft on North Korea, in your view? Are we doing the right thing?
I think we're trying to do the right thing, and I think the President's efforts should continue. But I think this UN Security Council resolution is without much impact because we can follow these ships and ask them to be boarded, but if they refuse, they can't be boarded. And as we see now, they're going into apparently a very unfriendly port for refueling or offloading, and we cannot expect the country who is in sympathy with them to take action, and so it's, quote, reported to the UN Security Council. What do you think the Security Council will do with Russia and China making the decision? I don't think much.
This may be the impossible question, but which is more alarming to you tonight? The situation in Iran or the situation in North Korea? And I realize there are other things I could throw into the mix like Pakistan, but just using Iran and North Korea, which one?
Well, they're so different. One of them is a long-term problem we have with North Korea, their development of nuclear weapons and missiles to deliver them, and that's an ongoing situation. In Iran, on the streets of Iran today, where young people, average age 33, are being beaten, killed, and imprisoned, this is a human values. This charts a course for this administration's policies towards repressive and oppressive regimes, and whether we will reaffirm fundamental American values.
Up next, more with Senator John McCain. Plus, who owns the bad economy? After 5 months in office, are voters now blaming President Obama? We have some new